thing went black when I hit a button to see if I could add one of those things, those little. Okay. Well, apparently I'm not allowed to touch my screen while I'm streaming. I don't even know what's going on there. Anyway, I think these like. Wonder if let's play with this a little bit. Choose a sticker. Question and answer. Sure. Let's ask a question. Um, I don't have any questions. Yeah. There. What is a good work from home job? Because honestly, I'm sick of driving, and I want to be able to hang out with my dog instead of working. So, what's a good work from home job that that I can do so that I don't have to like drive anymore? So I can get rid of my car because honestly, I'm sick of paying for the thing. I'm in a city that is incredibly walkable. I have three, four grocery stores that are within walking distance. I have four different butchers. I've got a couple of really nice bakeries. Like it's just, why would I have a car if I don't need it? Which I wish I didn't have because it just, I grew up in a place that was, very vast, lots of space, and if you didn't have a car, you couldn't do anything. Like the nearest convenience store was a solid 15-minute walk from where I was living at my last place, and like it was all just garbage, like not good food. They'd sell some apples and bananas at the front counter. They'd have like two or three at any given moment, and that was it. Like the rest of it was just like bags of chips and chocolate bars and Nestle ice cream. Like they didn't even have good ice cream, right? Like you could buy some eggs, if you're like short on eggs, you can go get some of those. But I rarely went into that place. It was grim because it was just like cigarettes and lottery tickets. I think that's what really kept them in business. Um, yeah. So I guess I could tell an interesting story. In 2012, I decided that I was going to do a big, long bicycle tour. I spent 2.5 months riding my bike across Canada. Not all the way across. I did like 3,500 kilometers in that time. It was pretty good. It was like camping. I had panniers. I had a compact tent. I carried all my food and my water with me. I'd ride about 100, 120 kilometers a day and stop. Try to find a place to set up tent. A lot of times it was campgrounds because it wasn't too bad. Like it's hard to find camping if you have an RV or something like that. You have to book in advance. But if you show up with a tent, there's always a place. Like you don't have to like unless you want to camp somewhere like Tofino or like in one of the bigger you know touristy kind of locations. You can camp pretty much any time without a reservation if you're doing it by tent, and that's actually pretty nice because tent camping is nice. I sleep better honestly when I'm that exposed to the outside, and so anyway, I had I had about 80 pounds worth of equipment on my bike with the panniers and everything, and um, oh, hi Zoltan. I have a friend named Zoltan. I don't see that name very often, but I think it's a really cool name. I wish I had a cool name like Zoltan, honestly, but I don't. There exists. There exists. Hello, how are you? I feel weird smiling on this. It's like, or at least like a fake smile. That felt really forced. I don't know why I did that. Um, so yeah, the first, boy, I'd say the first few weeks was really difficult. I was starting to get like knee pain, which I didn't expect. I bought a knee brace, and at the end of like the first month, that knee pain actually like disappeared, which was good. I was doing like 100, 120 kilometers a day. The thing I guess I noticed the most was after a while I was just on the grind. I was just riding, and while I thought I was going to be able to like see the country and actually get to experience like what life is like for people across the country, I it was just me in the road after a while. I just I would see a sign for something, and I'd be shout out to Hockey Bro 6116. Um, yeah, I really got lost in the pedaling and the doing the ride, and anytime I'd see some kind of sign or interesting thing, I would actually kind of get sad that I just like didn't have time, didn't have the energy to stop and do it, because like, after 2.5 months on the road, I was really starting to be like, geez, I got to get this done before the weather changes, right? Like I ended up making it to Toronto, and I really did want to make it all the way to St. John, but by then there was already like snowstorms that are starting to happen in like the eastern part of Quebec, and like, I guess I'm not doing it this year. So maybe I'll pick it up again and do the last leg. But that also like taking 2.5 months off of work, the amount of money I spent just to like keep my bills paid at home, so I'd have a home to come back to, and then food, like I was eating like an absurd amount of food every day, which was fine because I gained weight, but it was all muscle. Like when I actually went to put on my jeans when I was done, because for 2.5 months I didn't wear pants. My legs were so big that I actually had to buy new jeans because I couldn't fit in to the jeans that I had when I left. Um, Hello, Mandeep Singh. I hope I got that somewhat close to right. Um, there's a lot of beautiful moments. There was I was staying in this place called Maidstone in Saskatchewan, and I'd set up my tent and everything, and it had gotten dark. It was a gorgeous night, a really, really just beautiful night. So I didn't have a fly on, and my tent is just like all screened, so you can just see the sky completely when the fly is off. And the northern lights were just, it was like somebody had taken like a glow stick, like the ones that you crack and they glow and they're the green kind, and just like somebody had put like a bowl on top of the planet, on top of the earth, and dumped a glow stick on the top of it, and it was all just running around the whole like 360 degrees around me. Like it was just like completely surrounded by northern lights, the whole sky. It was and I grew up really far north, and I'd seen some really, really impressive northern lights, but that one was really special. Never seen anything like that. So that was a good moment. I was doing this website. It was called Couch Surfing, and so like whenever I'd get to like a town or a city, I'd always try to find a place to stay through couch surfing. And I found this one. It was like a group of roughnecks that had come from Ukraine. They were like a bunch of them were like engineers and stuff, but like they could only get jobs as roughnecks here. And they were all living, like five of them, in a two-bedroom basement suite with like no furniture. And they opened up their home to me. Like I just set up my like little roll on the floor, and I spent a couple days because I needed some. I'd been on the road for a while. I needed some rest. And yeah, it was really funny because like when you're doing that, like your metabolism just gets so high, and my body was like processing things so quickly that you know, there was one night they bought a bottle, two bottles of rye and some cokes, and I was just having it with water because I was doing this whole no sugar thing for a while. And we are, doing shots and chasing it. They're chasing it with coke, and I was chasing it with water. And these guys got fucking hammered, and I was like fine. I was like doing good, and they were just like their minds were blown. Like these roughnecks, these guys that are going out, working on the rigs, and living five deep in this really tiny space, and just drinking to like make the time go by until they can get their families over from Ukraine. Like I drank them under the table, and I am a lightweight. Like I'm not good with alcohol. I don't drink really that much, and I get sick easily. But when I was on that ride, my body was able to process the alcohol quite nicely, which was nice because I woke up the next morning and they were all just like, "Ugh." And then there was like a Ukrainian festival the next town over, and so we pile up into the car and go to see all that, and it was like really cool, like to actually like go to one of those festivals and see it through their lens, and to see them get to feel at home a little bit. It was a I think that was my favorite couple days on that entire 2.5 month trip, was hanging out with the Ukrainian roughnecks that were just like the sweetest guys. Like it's so funny, they're all like just surly looking, really just like beefy, and but yeah, really just open, really wonderful people. um I, I'd stopped I'd stopped a little bit before I got to that town, and in the bush randomly, I don't know, I just like was going to the bathroom, and I found like an air gun, like a little pellet gun, but it looked like a pistol, like a Glock or something. It had that kind of styling, and so I was like, I wanted to see if it worked, and so I went and bought like a canister while I was staying with the Ukrainians, and I tell everybody I found this thing. I take it out of my bag, and like shit, every single one of them got so uncomfortable. I felt really bad. Like I was like completely like I wasn't trying to scare anybody. I just wanted to see if this pellet gun worked. And I told them that I was going to be pulling this thing out of my bag, and everybody seemed fine with it. But as soon as they saw that gun, it was the mood shifted. Oops. I guess I don't know. I have a hard time with social cues at times. Um, yeah. Let's see. Northern Ontario. Oh, I did get to pilot an airplane while I was in Northern Ontario. I stopped in this place called Nestor Falls, and they have this like air tours over the Lake of the Woods that they do. And I rode into their parking lot, and I told them, "Hey, I'm doing this like thing, and I've ridden. This is like, I think I was like a good month and a half into my ride by then. No, I was almost 2 months because I was getting pretty close to the end, and I was just like, I'd love to see Lake of the Woods from above. Can I like, are you doing any tours? Can I get in on one?" And they were just like, "Well, shit, we're gonna go pick up these rich like American fishermen right now. Did you want to just go around along for the ride?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course." So we get up there and we pick these guys up. They're just blasted. They're so drunk. We drop them off at this like hidden little like resort that you can either fly in or take a boat. There's no road going to this thing. Like these are like rich people, rich guys. And so once we drop them back and we're flying back to Nestor Falls, the pilot was like, "Do you want to pilot?" Yeah, of course. And so he hands it right over to me. I'm like, I've actually had like the yoke and the rudders, and like I've played lots of like flight simulators. I think it would be cool to be a pilot. But to actually get that chance to pilot an airplane, and especially one that was from like World War II, like it was a seaplane, think it was like a Beach 18, I think is what it's called. I'm probably wrong. I did look it up, and there's only over 40 of them that were made like that, which is pretty neat. But it was like electric. You know, when you're doing something, you just your whole body is just like, this is the best thing ever. Yeah, like that was, and he let me pilot it for like a good 10 minutes at least. Felt longer, but it couldn't have been more than 10 minutes. But still, like I was fully in charge. Got to pilot an airplane. Yeah, it was a good trip. Glad I did it. Was able to like work off a lot of this weight that I'd put on from years of being a tradesperson and eating poorly. You know, garbage for breakfast, garbage for lunch. You know, you just run out and you have McDonald's for lunch every day because that's what everybody else is having. And if you start bringing your own food, you get labeled. Like there's a lot of really weird labels in that world where people will expect you to do things or be a certain way. Like once I really got into coffee, I started bringing my own coffee because I was just sick of like Tim Hortons. And there was this one site supervisor who used to be like a football player, and his football team had won some Grey Cup. And so he had his like Grey Cup ring and stuff. He'd wear it all the time. And a city, yes, a city. And he was like, if you want to run with the big dogs, you got to drink Tim Hortons coffee. And I'm like, well, I'll hang out with the dogs that drink good coffee then. Hi, Jackson Van Rassel. These days, yeah, I work for myself. I don't work as hard as I used to. I work like 6 hours a day if I can help it, no more than that. I work fast. I work hard. I'm quite good at what I do. So even if I'm working 6 hours, I honestly get more done than a lot of people do in eight. Um, Hello at Gone in 321. I think I've seen you in Matt's chats, maybe. Um, but yeah, no, it's good. I'm enjoying the the fact that like sometimes I get yes, okay, I'm correct then. I'm pretty good at remembering things for some reason. Um, but yeah, working for myself is the best. It's no drama. I was talking to somebody who works in education, and they were dealing with some like drama with other people that work there, and it just reminds me of like why I stopped. I've always had a problem. Like I always got the don't play well with others on the report cards as a kid. But I also went to a very, very small school. Like my graduating class was 13 people kind of thing. So, and I was the village weirdo, which was fine. Because like, why, when I see how the rest of them ended up, I'm okay with it. That was a good one. How about my dog just hanging out? Weird's a good thing. When I see what normal people get up to these days, I'm will happily be weird. you know, I don't feel bad about it at all. I had this job, was doing deliveries, and the person I was working for after. Oh, thank you. Uh, why not? I like I said, Matt actually inspired me. I was just like, he's out there doing it. And when I was younger, I really wanted to get into radio. I even had like a radio show on like the local college station and stuff. But I started doing trades work because I was tired of starving, and I was too tired because it was a late shift. Like I was like 10 p.m. to midnight that I was on air, and it was messing up my ability to earn a living. And so I guess we all. I was also lazy. I probably should have done more to pursue it, but I also felt like I wasn't ready. You know, I was a little bit too no filter. I got in trouble actually before. Hello, Gingy Pro. I was living in a smaller town that had like a local television station, and me and a friend volunteered there, did camera work and whatnot, and we had put together like a little like 2 episodes of like a sketch comedy show that we had done, and they we ran it and people liked it, and there was a like a swap talk, you know, like a call in like a classified section almost, where people would be like, hey, I've got like a dozen canning jars I need to get rid of, you know, like contact me through the station kind of situation. And me and my friend got to host it one day only once because I just kept saying shit. I couldn't keep myself under control. I'm a lot better about it now. So, hello, Ziggy Dog. How are you today? Anyway, I was talking about something before I kind of started ranting about how I've always kind of wanted to do media work. I finally got myself into a movie credit, a movie that I worked on in 2020. My friend who directed that is getting funding for his next movie, which is great because then I'll actually, because like right now I'm in the special thanks section, which is fine because I did unpaid work, but he's actually going to give you a job in the art department, and we'll actually get like an IMDb page coming out of it, which will be kind of fun. Part of my whole journey of going into trades and learning how to do stuff was because I would really like to do set design. I like to build, I like to have things look good, and I like the idea of that, like the really intense 16-hour. Oh, thanks, Ziggy. 16-hour days, but getting paid really well for it, and then to have something that's it's interesting. You're not making something permanent, but the result is permanent, right? Because the movie's always going to be there. Especially like his, you know, I don't want to talk about it too much because I'm not allowed, but like it's, you know, he's like a real movie director. This isn't like just some stuff. Like it's, you know, like his last movie, he toured around the world with it, and it's gotten some awards, and he did well enough that he's being given 3 million to make the next one. So it's like real thing. But that's not going to be till next summer. That's how these things work, right? It takes like 5 years to make a movie, even though the filming is like 3 months. But it'll be cool. I hope he puts my dog in the movie. I kind of like I've dropped some hints. I'd be like, hey, you know, it might be time. People love my dog. You know, Lassie hasn't been on the air in a long time, but we'll see. He's not somebody you tell anybody thing to. He reminds me of Rob Zombie. Made this one comment. Somebody had asked him how you become a movie director, and he's like, you shouldn't be asking that question. To be a movie director, you got to be the kind of person, you got to be the kind of asshole who thinks they're right all the time. And that's exactly who my friend is. He he's very much a right person. He does. I've had so many people tell me I should get him an agent, or you know, get him out there. He was almost in a play, but I don't know what happened to that. The production fell apart. People, you know how it is. But One day, I keep putting them on YouTube, so maybe I'll get famous there instead. Um, let's see. When I was a kid, I used to do this thing where I would make like mixtapes that would record songs off of the radio, and then I'd do my own like radio intros and outros between the songs. I really wish I had those tapes somewhere. It just kind of like, yeah, no, for sure, you gotta. Like, animals are very popular on the internet because they're something that's pure. You know, it's it's uncomplicated. Or it can be complicated because I personally, I can't stop watching videos of like fucking dogs being terrible. Like, it's just like, I don't know. It's the dopamine addiction, right? But yeah, animals do well. I've got like shorts of Tulip that have like 3,000 views. I my last cat that passed last year. That was a year ago. Yeah. Like, I've had pictures of him like go fucking like 25,000 likes on Reddit. Like, it's kind of interesting how yeah, animals do so well. I think it's either you love animals and you don't have them, so you really want to see them, or you love animals and have them, also want to see them. It's like just universal. We evolved with our pets. Like, we've had, what is it, like 30,000 years that the cats and the dogs have been hanging out with us. Like, we've evolved together. We really have. It's like not even like it's actually a codependency at this point. I was apparently kids that grow up with a dog have a better immune system because of being. Oh, hey, how's it going, Matt? You're dragging yourself out of bed, sore as fuck from working out for the first. Oh, good for you. Seriously, good for you. It's worth it. You know, um, like yeah, like I had to go through it once when I lost my weight when I was younger. Um, yeah, it's tough at first. I remember there was because I threw myself in on it doing like trades work, and I ended up working with one job building sidewalks, and they had me working on the compactor machine, you know, like da 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 da. Da. And when I got home that day, I literally couldn't even use a can opener. My hands were just a mess. But now I could do that all day. Like, it's just a matter of keeping at it. It does get better. So good on you. Seriously, it's worth it. Thanks for popping in. If you want to know anything, now that you have a chance to ask me questions, because now it's the me show, the Sir Marfil show. You know, fire away, because it is kind of hard to find stuff to just talk about. Um, I try, but here we are. Um, let's see. Mm, so yeah, I grew up really far north. Like, there was like the closest neighbor was like a 15-minute bike ride. These kids that live not too far away, not too far. They had a trampoline, so I'd go over there and jump on their trampoline. And that's like we're like my. It was weird, you know. Your friends, there was like a lot of weird cultural issues where I grew up because there was a Doukhobor colony, like people who were Orthodox Russians that escaped Stalin that came to Canada to like have their own community and to be able to hang on to their religion and stuff. And so these kids, they were Doukhobor, and like we were friends outside of school, but once we were in school, there was just like no interaction. We did not talk because, you know, just societal issues. You really weren't allowed to be friends. You know, they would have had problems with their community if they were seen being friends with me at school, and I didn't have any other friends, so it didn't matter that much to me. I guess I was already used to it, but yeah, we can collab for sure. Um, yeah, yeah, absolutely. But yeah, growing up in the country, like it's really funny. Like I don't, I would never go back. Like I like to visit the country, and I know how to like survive out there. But I love being in this city. That's like my preference. It's just, you grow up digging enough holes. You spend enough time digging and rooting around in the garden, and having to use a hair dryer to get out of your house because it's minus 45 and your front door is literally frozen solid. It's yeah, I prefer to be in the city. It's a lot nicer to live. And I don't like there's old people like, oh, it's peace and quiet and blah blah blah. My graduating class was 13 people. I didn't graduate, but like the class that I would have graduated with was 13 people. It was kindergarten to grade 12 with 450 students from the entire like surrounding area of the village I grew up nearby. My bus ride was like 45 minutes. It was funny. It was a 45-minute bus ride, but once I got old enough, I started riding my bike to school, which took me 30 minutes, which was honestly a lot better than being on the bus because, yeah, the it was like a real strict bus driver that, yeah, no, it was tiny, tiny, tiny. Like, we moved out there when I was in grade one, and I spent the entire rest of my time being the new kid, like, and it's funny because my family actually founded the town that I grew up in. Like they were settlers that went out there like 200 years ago and founded the village. And I think that was also part of the issue. Like my family, they're arrogant and they all think they're special because they founded that town. Um, oh, geez, that's a long walk. Um, did you just not have a bus, or you prefer to walk? Or I guess you were in Chicago, right? Like that's who knows? I don't know anything about Chicago, honestly, or what the infrastructure is like. Okay, was it still like close to an hour? Because I know like here the bus isn't great, or the bus is pretty great, but like riding your bike is actually faster than even driving for the most part. Um, but that's just traffic issues because I live on an island and there's 4 million people on this island, and so it's really cramped. Um, yeah, I was talking about something. Yeah, I guess just like my interesting. Oh yeah, I was talking about the Doukhobors and the weird kind of like societal differences. So like, there was us, there's my family, which like I didn't date anybody until I left that town because like most people were either my cousin or Doukhobors, and there was no cross pollination there. They really didn't. They really wanted to keep their community really insular, which is. I actually went there a couple of years ago just to like visit where I came from and to show a friend of mine who was visiting, and the Russians like. I remember when I was in grade six, it was the first time one of the girls got married and disappeared from our classes. Like they had these arranged marriages, and the girls were forced to just have like so many kids. Like they were just having like eight, nine kids. And now you go out there, and there's hardly any of like my family left out there, and the whole town is like pretty much just Russian now, which and like I'm talking like floral dresses and the braided belts and like that whole thing. They're very traditional. Um, but yeah, no, it probably put a bit of a damper on my idea of living in the country, being around that, because it's wild what people get away with just because they say it's their culture. Like a kid in grade six shouldn't be getting married and just disappearing from school like that. There's also like one of their sister villages in like rural part of Oregon, and so like they would constantly be sending people back and forth between the two places. Like I got to find all this out because I was neighbors with one of the families and friends outside of school with some of them, so I got to like hear this stuff. And like I wasn't allowed in their house, but their mom would come out and give me like their food. And once I got older, they'd bring out Braga, which is like a kind of like their own homemade wine, which was honestly delicious. If you haven't had Braga, you should try if you can get it. I actually missed that. Yeah, I felt bad for her. Like she was, because I was in grade six, I can say this. Like she was, I remember her being a very pretty kid. Like, it was gross that she was the first one that was just plucked up by some creepy fuck. And like they were just abusive. Like one of our other neighbors, like he would beat his wife regularly. She'd show up on our doorstep covered in bruises, and my dad would have to like get the gun to keep her fucking husband away. Like it was, they were, they were just, I don't know. They used their religion to justify being terrible people in a lot of ways, I think. Maybe not, no, definitely not all of them. Because like the neighbors with the friends, with the kids that I was friends with, like their mom and dad were fine. They were good people. I don't remember it being anything bad about them. And there's some other ones that lived not too far away that they were fine as well. But there's one, he was on the Braga every day. And yeah, he was just terrible. But they, a lot of the businesses, like there was like this, don't take any checks from them on Sundays, because they would cancel the checks as they're not allowed to buy stuff on Sundays, but they would go around writing checks. Like, and then just the pedophilia, because that's like the only word I have for it. It was, yeah. Like I guess 200 years ago it was natural for somebody to get married the moment that they were able to have kids, but we don't live in that world anymore. I would like to think that we've moved past it, but it's not a survival thing anymore, right? We don't have to have 8 kids to hope that 4 of them make it to adulthood, right? Like it's weird shit. So. But their breeding program worked. They went from like 1,200 people to 12,000, I think now. It's just, yeah. Look up the Doukhobors. It's a fascinating thing, and I guess it's kind of cool that I got to grow up there and see it firsthand. Because like even out in the middle of nowhere, really, the world's just full of people, and it's full of experiences, and it's full of lessons. Let's see. I had a pet deer. I was riding my trike out because we had like what was it, 30 acres of just forest. It wasn't like farmable land, because all the farm up there, anything that was a field was because people had burned down the forest to make it. But we just had like all this acreage, is what we called. Right now, it is 11:38 in the morning. But yeah, so I was riding my trike down one of our trap lines, just checking traps, because, we would, oh, you don't have to bark, you don't have to bark. I know, I heard it too, skateboards are the worst. Oh boy, yes, time to get upset. It's time to get upset, right? Oh my goodness. Oh my god, okay, Tulip, it's time to stop. It's time to stop. Please stop. Please stop. Please stop. He really hates skateboarders. It's good. He used to hate bicycles, and once he gets started, he doesn't want to stop. He doesn't want to stop once he gets started. But you're okay, buddy. You're okay. You don't need to bark at everything. I know it's your job. I know it's your job, sweetheart. There you go. That's right. Just yawn it off. Get it out of your system, sweetheart. There you go. So yeah, I was checking the traps, looking for rabbits, because we did farm rabbits for a long time, but we found that that was kind of a gross on kind of enterprise, having to clean up the rabbit shit. We started running out of like places to put the shit. Didn't really enjoy having to slaughter them or skin them. It was just one of those side hustles that didn't work out because everybody's got their side hustles, right? Especially out there. My uncle did chickens. Ours was going to be rabbits. We had a couple of people that did like leather work that would buy our hides off of, and grew up eating rabbit, blah, blah, blah. But once we gave up on actually farming the rabbits, thank you. Hopefully, right? I would like to stop working the way I work, and it would be nice to do something else. But yeah, I was going up one of the cut lines or the trap lines, cut lines, it's the same thing. And there was like a half-starved fawn. Like it was just like kind of laying in the ground, and no idea where its mom was. It was skin and bones. Like you could see this thing's ribs. It was pretty rough. So I loaded it up because like the trike had like a big rack on the back with like a box in it, and so I was able to like just pick it up. And I think I was like 11. I put it in the back and I drive it back, and we got like baby formula, and we nursed this thing back to health. Talked to like a vet. The vet told us what to do, and this baby deer hung out. I mean, it wasn't a baby. It's that's unfortunate. What was the last message? But yeah, it just hung out afterwards. Like we nursed it back to health, and we named it Bambi because my dog would like keep it out of the garden. Like that deer could go anywhere but the garden, which was great because he would try to eat our tomatoes and strawberries all the time. Um, yes, Thursday would work. This week I was supposed to do a big deck, and it got delayed, so I'm gonna be around. So why not? It gives me something to do. So yeah, absolutely. Let's try it out. It'll be fun. Um, we can exchange stories. You as a city kid and me as a country kid. Hey, this is a good angle. I should do this more often. They can't see my neck fat quite as much when I lean forward like this. um, but yeah, having a deer was nice. Um, Very sweet. It just disappeared one day. I'm not sure why. There's like some rumors that we had a big bow around his neck. We made sure that people like knew that this was a pet deer, but yeah, it was food. Like I grew up eating deer, and I imagine somebody else was like food because we didn't have to buy meat. It was that was the kind of the nice thing. I grew up eating like food we either grew or meat that we hunted or raised ourselves or was raised by my uncle. Yeah, deer is delicious. Moose is delicious. This is gonna sound wild, but beaver nose. One of my uncles was a fish and wildlife, like a game warden, and one of his jobs was to go and bust up beaver dams, and get rid of the beaver. And one of the things he would do would he would collect the noses and make like a big beaver nose stew. Like the rest of the beaver is not very good tasting. Like you can make jerky, but it's really greasy and kind of almost it's actually a lot like bear. So just like not very good tasting, but the nose is actually delicious. Um, at least it's the way my uncle used to make it. He was a interesting guy, I guess. Um, he was, yeah, he would do this thing. He would just leave like a dead beaver just like laying out in his yard after he'd like collected what he wanted from them. And then my dog would like grab the beaver and drag it all the way home. And we're talking like 4 or 5 kilometers at least to get this thing back to our place. And so I'd always have to be cleaning up these like rotten, maggoty, dead ass beavers. I remember one, I found it out in the field. I was sick of it. I didn't want to touch it, and I left it, and I left it, and I left it. And we had a big riding mower, and I kept riding like a little circle around it, so I didn't have to deal with it. And then one day I was just like, it's rotten enough, and I hit this thing with the riding mower, and I just sprayed maggot and beaver all over the yard. And you know what? That patch, it was like the greenest grass afterwards for like years. It was just like I always knew where that beaver was because it was the nicest patch of lawn that we had. Um, yeah, but that dog always stank because like she would find dead fish, roll around them. Like you could always tell it was really specifically like a fish she had found because it was a really specific rotten smell. And she loved to roll around on these dead beavers. Just a stinky, stinky dog, but also great. Like she was a really good dog. Fought off a couple of bears. Had like these massive scars on her back once because she got swiped, but survived thankfully. Constantly getting porcupine quills in her face, like at least once a year. Like we would have to like pin her down and with the pliers and pull the porcupine quills out of her face. And apparently dogs, they don't learn their lesson with porcupines because it makes them mad. They see the porcupine and they're just like, oh, you fuckers. And so they'll just keep on going after them because it's just what they do, I guess. It makes them so enraged to see a porcupine that they, they, they lose their mind and just go after them. So that was my dog. Very funny. I've encountered a number of bears. Um, I find that the best way to deal with them, if it's a brown or a black bear, is you just gotta yell at them. They're more scared of you than they are of them. The last time I was with a group of friends, and we were kind of out in the mountains, and we'd gotten up to this lake. You have to like hike like an hour to get up to this like kind of pool that's kind of in between like three mountains. And we'd taken some acid, and we'd hung out there for the day, and everybody else was gone. We were the last people to leave this area, and we're going back down the path, and there's this big fat black bear that was just right in the middle of the path, and it was the only path down this mountain. Like we were stuck, and we all just started yelling and shouting at this thing, and it just kind of like was like curious, and it came a little closer, and thankfully like my friend's dog that was with us actually started to join and started barking, and then the bear ran away. But I've had a bear use my tent as like a back scratch. Like I was sleeping out, and we had like a tent. Like, it was like our hunting tent. It was like a big like military canvas pole tent, which like you had a stove in it. It had walls. You could sleep like 8 people in this thing, and we all wake up because the whole tent is just shaking, and you can hear this like grunting, and the bear was like using one of the corner poles to like scratch their back. And I could just remember like the smell, like this like really just if you haven't smelled a bear, I can't even describe it. It's like a musty, earthy, it's kind of nice, but also you're scared, so it's hard to appreciate it. But yeah, that was the closest. Like I think this bear was probably like a good 5 or 6 feet from me at the time. And then it just, I think it was one of my uncles, went out with a rifle and fired a couple of shots into the air, and it ran away. So I've seen grizzlies, but thankfully from a car. So I don't ever want to have to like face one of those because they're not scared. They don't give a shit. Um, yeah, a few bears, moose, wild boars. Those actually, you got to watch out for wild boars. They're huge. Like my dog is pretty big, and wild boars are actually about twice the size of him. And they don't give a shit. They will come at you. So you see, and like that's one of those like you don't try to scare them either. Like you just quiet and watch and pray it goes away. But they're really kind of interesting because they're just like it's almost like magical to see one come out of like the forest. Oh yeah, I guess I should try to like. I do use Discord. I think Matt has Discord. I can probably try to join it. Yeah, I imagine it. I think it's listed on his channel, right? So I can pop in there and take a look. Try to actually organize it. I'm pretty good at showing up, so it shouldn't be too hard. I'll be around. Got something in the corner of my mouth? No. This question is going nowhere. I'm gonna take it off because like, but you know, whenever I touch my screen, something changes and it like crashes the stream. So, um, oh, it's so funny. He's like super intense, and then he's super sweet. My little guy, just hanging out like a good little puppy. He hates having cameras in his face, but it's really cute. Show his little face. Try not to show my place too much because I'm supposed to clean it. Finally got rid of my like absolutely chaotic roommate for a few weeks, and I do want to clean it up, but I'm also maybe tomorrow. I've been working a lot. I could use some time to relax. Boy, what else should I talk about? Um, I met Marilyn Manson once. That was my claim to fame. Yeah, yeah, cool, great. Thank you for taking a look. I can pop in there and um, give it a go. Uh, yeah, so a friend of mine was working at a bar that was like the goth bar in town during the Antichrist Superstar tour. So this would have been 98, I think. And get this phone call. It's like, Marilyn Manson's here. You got to come down. And so me and my friend, we kind of hop in to the bus because, get down there, and my buddy lets us in the back door because they weren't letting anybody else through the front anymore. And we get led up to this mezzanine where the band's just like hanging out together. And, I was like 18 at the time, I think. 18 or 19, something like that. I think it was 18. And we're just kind of like standing around like a bunch of nerds. And my buddy was standing near the drummer, Ginger Fish, and somebody passed in between my friend and Ginger. And this person that passed between the two, like I only found this out after, but the cherry on his cigarette kind of fell off his cigarette somehow and landed on Ginger Fish's pants. My friend sees it and immediately he gets over there and like brushes it off because they're like vinyl pants or PVC or something. And my friend didn't want his pants to get wrecked because he's like a good guy and he's observant. He's on top of shit. But Ginger just like fucking snaps. He throws his drink into my friend's face, like the fluid, and then he throws the glass at my friend's face. And thankfully, like security was there immediately, grabbed my friend, fucking shuffle him off. He's gone. They didn't, he didn't get like, a chance to explain himself or anything. And so after all of that kind of settles down, I go up to Ginger and I'm just like, so what happened there? And he's like, that guy touched me. Not once, not twice, but three fucking times he touched me. And I was just like, whoa, dude, okay. And then all of a sudden I feel this like hand on my shoulder and I look and it's Marilyn and he's just like, don't talk to him. He's really tweaking tonight and you probably shouldn't talk to him right now. And I was just like, okay, thanks. And I skedaddle. I go back downstairs. I find my friend, and he tells me what had just happened. And I was just like, oh, that's fucking wild. And then we spent the night just kind of like drinking, doing that, and throwing chunks of watermelon up onto the mezzanine and trying to like piss off Gingerfish more. We were trying to hit him with chunks of watermelon, and that's my Marilyn Manson story. I don't know if we didn't get told to stop, so I don't think anybody like caught us throwing this chunks of watermelon, but that was the thing that happened, and my biggest celebrity encounter. Yeah, good times. Oh, my phone is dying, and that's about an hour, which is what is my? Oh, wait, I'll answer the question. My favorite music. Here's the thing. Like I used to be somebody who would like really focus on a genre, and I've gone through so many different phases throughout the years. Like during the '90s, the late '90s, I really got into like like during like the grunge era. I loved grunge, and then I kind of really like I went to the library and picked up a Nine Inch Nails, The Downward Spiral, and got really into the whole industrial thing for a few years. And then when that kind of died, I started to get into punk, and I was a punk for a long time. That was my thing. I really, like, and I got to see like some legendary bands, like Misfits and UK Subs, Fugazi, Bad Religion, like all that kind of stuff. These days, I don't know, like I've been listening to a lot of like hip hop. Danny Brown's new album is great. I've also been listening to a lot more like acid jazz kind of stuff. I just saw Kamasi Washington perform. That was an amazing show. Amazing. If you have a chance to see Kamasi Washington, go see him. Also, just like hyperpop, or even stuff like Yukimi Nagano, Little Dragon. Her latest album's amazing. Um, Been really getting into like there's a lot of really good music coming out of Chile. Like Santiago apparently is like almost everybody's in a band kind of thing. Like I've been watching interviews and they just joke about that, but there's some really good music coming out of Chile. Um, oh shit, I listened to a lot of the Moody Blues when I was young. There we had a VHS of them playing at Red Rocks, and it was between that and Sade's performance there that actually prompted me to go see. I went to see the Ween and the Flaming Lips play at Red Rocks. Yeah, well, I went for Ween. I was a big. I still like Ween. I don't, I like them. Um, and that was great to actually travel and go see just anything at Red Rocks. Like Denver sucks, but like Red Rocks is amazing, and it's worth the trip to go see anything there. If you like them, go to Red Rocks. But yeah, my phone is dying, and I'm at my hour mark, and I've decided that I'm not going to stream for more than an hour if I can help it, because some of the other people that I watch, they kind of burn out if they do more than that. So thanks for coming in, thanks for talking to me, and see you on the next one.